first finals of the Farming Simulator League Season 5 over here at FarmCon. I am live here with Cast by Copter, and yeah, we have Martin out on stage at the moment introducing the day.
Yeah. Yes, we can see. Of course, we are here live on FarmCon, just like Alex said, and well, we can see that there is definitely a Martin giving the welcomes. We have our first game starting in some minutes, of course, but the first game is going to be it is Helm versus Valtra.
Sure.
So that is the first game, and we should be also seeing the players coming to the stage as well. But we are live here in FarmCon. It's a lovely event. We are in Lingen, Germany. It's a lovely, beautiful area here. It's I would say a quite small German city, but lovely landscape. It's a very beautiful nature here, and definitely everybody who's here at the FarmCon and everybody who is not here, they should be coming here because this is an amazing event. It has been great 2 days so far.
It has, and of course the FSL did actually kick off yesterday. We had the play-ins yesterday here live at FarmCon, and today is our two semi-finals and our final that we will be seeing. Yeah, it's going to prove, I think, to be very interesting. The rule changes have been quite amazing.
Yeah, definitely. We have new changes. We have a new rule book. About the play-ins yesterday, so Valtra, who is now playing versus Helm, they won Lindner 2-1. And Helm, they won Power Team Esports with the 2-0 scoreline. And I did speak with the Helm players a little bit. They said that the second game was close, they told me. So it was 2-0, yes, but they kind of like not struggled, but the second one wasn't that easy. And of course, we have a lot of changes. So we have the time limit. It's now 10 minutes per round, so it's not 15. The drops are coming at a different time as well. Make sure to check the FSL website for the latest rule book if you want to have like a full coverage of the rules. And this is, I'll be honest, this is the first game that I'll be also covering with these new rules. So it will be interesting to see how it actually works out.
Yeah, I have a chance to play a couple of games with these new rules, and it is definitely much more fast-paced.
Yeah.
It is going to be a very quick-paced setup on here. Yeah, it's going to be interesting to see how it goes. So very, very interested in that.
Yeah, I spoke with some of the players about the rules. Now we have actually Helm, so this is one of the changes for this season as well. We have Helm coming to the stage, so these guys we have known with a couple of different names. The current running champions, they did 3% Trelleborg last season that they played as a Hönig gang on the Easter tournament, and now they are playing under the banner of Helm. And Helm is, by the way, also the main sponsor of FSL, so they are making a very big heavy push on this scene, and of course they hired the best.
And of course we've got Team Ultra coming out and taking their places now as well. This actually is a huge match to kick things off this afternoon. Valtra being one of the really, being an amazing team for the FSL in previous seasons. So it's a little bit of a grudge match today.
Yeah.
And we'll see which team comes out on top out of these two.
Yeah, I mean, it's a semi-final, so semi-final of course means that, the winner goes to the final, and then the loser, there is no bronze game as far as I know. So we're having 3 matches today. It's going to be best of 3 series, and the winner goes to the final, and the other one is of course then just, settling down on the 3rd, 4th place. And then of course we have a second semi-final later on coming up as well, and then of course the grand final. So that is pretty much the agenda. So 3 matches, and I would say that, it is hard to tell with the new rules, like how long it's going to last, but I would say that maybe if it goes all the 3 matches, then it's like a 45 minutes per series.
I will say we're probably going to end up with the desync coming up, because at the moment I think you can see the German casters out on the stage. They are casting, and there is Team Helm and there is Team Ultra.
Yeah,
they're flicking between the two.
Yeah, we can see the teams, and Helm playing with the red shirts, and then of course the black ones for the Valtra. So we'll see. I'm very excited to see how this actually goes, because, like I said, we haven't seen a match with these new rules. It's going to be more fast-paced. I spoke with the players, and they didn't want to give anything away. But what I was being told was that for sure the strategy that might win this tournament, it will not win the last tournament of the
No.
season. So we can expect a lot of changes on the playing styles. And I heard that a lot of the teams, they have preferred a lot of different strategies as well. And well, maybe I can say it. Helm, they said that they have a lot of strategies, and they basically said that they are using the worst one.
I kind of get the feeling. I kind of get the feeling though with these new changes, you have to have that, and I think that's one of the more important things, is that you need to have multiple strategies because everything's so fast paced, everything moves so quickly that there is no way that you can have a single strategy that will apply to everything.
True.
And in fact, the way to win it is to have multiple strategies that allows you to adapt to what's going on. And of course, Helm in the past have been so very good at doing that anyway. So I'm not surprised to hear that they have multiple strategies.
True. Well, we're just gonna have to figure it out how it actually goes, and we'll see. I have no idea. I don't know what is the strategy, so we'll figure that out. And well, at least on the screen, I think we see the German casters once again. So we have a camera here actually, but from whatever reason, we are not currently on the screen. But okay, these guys are pretty beautiful as well, handsome guys. So why not to see them as well? And of course, I mean, the good old desync messages might be coming up.
Yes, absolutely. But that's all okay. We are just there we are.
Oh, finally.
Hello, everyone.
Hey.
Yeah, it's. I'm very excited by this season. Knocking 5 minutes off the time that a team has to play and for a round, that is really difficult. That means that the whole grain and bale delivery has to be smushed together to get the most out of it.
Yeah.
Because if they don't, then they won't ever get those bonus points. Yeah.
And we still have the same amount of drops, but they're just with a different time. So now when we are playing 10-minute rounds, I think the first drop was like 8:30, and then we had a drop coming at the 5-minute mark, and then we had the super drop was like a 3.5 minutes or something like that. So the timings have changed, of course, on that one. The prize pool has been increased as well. So we are playing from 15,000 euro prize pool instead of a 10 in a one single event, and of course that's gonna like almost double the whole prize pool for the whole season. So there's more money.
It's a 200,000 euro prize pool for the whole season, which is fantastic. So here we go, going into the first ban phase for these finals. That is Helm coming out and banning a Vulture straight off the bat, making a big statement there while they go up against the Vulture team.
And of course, one thing that I have to mention, which we completely forgot to mention, we are also playing with Farming Simulator 22 instead of the 19. So we have the new client, and the new client also has this arena mode, but it also has the bale stacking mode. We are not, of course, playing the bale stacking mode here, but if you want to go and have a look, kind of like if you want to see how the esports looks like, just go and get the esports client and, you know, do your best on the bale stacking challenge, which we, by the way, played here yesterday as well. But anyways, the bans are coming in, and we can see that, you know, not really surprises here, to be honest. I mean, there was the telehandlers. I think both of them were blocked, and now we just go with the perks instead. So the captain's gonna be. This is also changed, that the captains, of course, they can choose the perks, and the limitations which we had last season, they are not there anymore.
So our selection, we've got the Lexion, the big class Lexion combine reserved by both teams, because that is new for this year. Bigger combine than the ideal. So I think a lot of teams are going to be going for that. We got the Deutz Far front loader picked by Vultra, along with the big Fent 1050. Helm going for the classic John Deere that they like so much for stacking, along with John Deere, the big John Deere, and the Fent with the front loader on it. In fact, both teams going for the Fent with the front loader on it as well.
And talking about Deutz Farm, I mean, this place where the FarmCon is actually hosted, it is a Deutz Farm arena, and there's a huge factory next to us, and we actually were so lucky to have a factory tour yesterday, so they exactly chosen Deutsch Far, we were actually able to see how it was, well, how it's built in real life. It was really impressive. But there we go. It is the first game, and we're gonna be setting up the tone for the whole tournament. The time is running out, and we go for the first bale. Of course, we go for the pads first, and we can see Martin heading for the pads, going to be trying to pick up something from there. Let's see.
He's going for that second Lexion, that all-important second Lexion. He has picked it up off the ground, though. Is that going to get off that podium? Yes, it is.
It will. It will. I just love this. Then we have the lovely double scene as well. The production doing everything they can to make this. I mean, this looks awesome compared to the last season. I mean, all this graphics and everything. This is just great.
The FSL map just looks beautiful in FS22. Really, really does. And Vultra have got the New Holland combine, so they've gone with that for their second combine, having been denied having 2 Lexions. That has definitely got to be a good start, I think, for Helm. That is a lot of grain they can collect very quickly, and with this 10-minute setup, that is exactly what they need to do.
Yeah.
First bales coming in. Soren for Vultra scoring a 138. And Helm yet to score.
Yeah, it's a decent start definitely for Vultra. I mean, looking at the double view which we had earlier, I was like thinking that maybe Vultra's gonna win this one. They're just 5 points shy though, so Helm is still getting 133, so it's not that bad. And now, I mean, the time is running out. It's just 5 seconds for the first drops, if I'm not completely mistaken. We can hear the clock ticking on the background as well. So let's see what it's gonna be spawning. It's gonna be
a bale drop. Is it only a bale drop? Is it a single drop?
Let's see.
At this point, and I'm very, very surprised that JK didn't just jump out of the tractor and grab that as he went past.
Yeah.
Vultra have done exactly that, and there we go. They have, both teams have grabbed that bale drop.
Yeah, now they have it, so let's see. And then the building starts. I mean, now you have to, I'm really interested to see how the grain game actually goes. I mean, you can still put the same amount of 35,000 into the silo as well. So that is not like a huge problem here. The multipliers, they should be about the same, so there is no huge change on that. But then, you know, we saw kind of like strategies building up, waiting for the drops, but now you just might not have the time because the time is just so, well, you're running out of time all the time. So you can't really play the similar game with the grain anymore.
And I think this is the thing. It's basically a single grain drop. Previously we had 2 grain drops. We had one around about the time of the first drop, and then we had one around the time of the second. There is not enough time to get any grain into your auger wagons before that first drop anymore. So it is a single unloading of grain, and if you don't have enough grain there, that is then going to give you a really big problem. And JK not going to drop their grain.
Yeah, he's going to go and, well, he's going to probably pick the baler. Let's see what's the play here. Seems to be the case, yeah. So, yeah, he's gonna take that in, and then we'll see that they will start pressing the bales. Of course, I mean, last season we saw the bales like being pressed pretty late, but now you can't. I mean, you have to start pressing them early. We only have 6 minutes remaining. This was the time last season when people usually were already like, you know, delivering something.
And here we now have a differing grain strategy. Vultra have gone and dropped the grain they have. They have a 2.5 to 1.5 multiplier lead. They need to score bales right now because Helm has emptied another combine.
Yeah.
There is more grain there, and that's going to be a bigger multiplier the moment this drops. And if Vultra do not score points here, that's going to put them behind. Having said that, we've just seen Vultra out there unloading that big class combine again. It'll be interesting to see which team here actually ends up with the bigger multiplier. Which strategy here has worked?
True. And also, I mean, last season we saw a lot of these like setups being built next to the silos. I'm not sure if you have the time for it anymore because that actually takes like 30 seconds, could take 45 seconds as well. And then because you're running out of time, yeah, they're definitely going to go for it. So let's wait and see.
Seems to be a little less to get hung up on as they come through to actually drop the combines off here. You see, they're still having to zigzag through, but there's no no roofs to get stuck under or anything like that. So it looks like a little bit of an easier route through, which you kind of have to have when everything is under such a big time constraint.
And there is a drop. We haven't yet seen what it is, but there's a drop. So that's like a 5.5 minute mark when the drop came in. But the unloading is happening as we speak. We can see Vulture just putting more in. Helm hasn't, they did respawn, they're now 2.2 multiplier, so Vulture kind of like on the losing side of it. No bales have been delivered, but at the same time, looking at the stats, at least it seems that Helm, they have about 13 bales pressed, if I'm not completely mistaken. So, and we can see Martin actually probably going for the first deliveries here as well. And we haven't yet seen the first victim of the bridges or the safer route. So let's see when that's going to happen.
Oh,
And there
no!
it is! Did I just jinx it completely? We haven't seen it, but now we have. And that's probably one of the biggest crashes I have seen lately on that bridge.
That is horrendous, and that's awful for Helm. That is going to set them, because again, timing is so tight in this. To lose 3 bales so horribly on that route is going to cost them badly.
Yeah. But they still have the bales. We can see JK coming in, and he probably has like, well, he, as we can see, 3 bales on the front, probably has like 2-3 bales on the baler as well. And there we can see the first bales being delivered, and that is a 2.4 multiplier, which they currently have. So those are going to be some very good bales.
I can't see, well, there is no way for Vulture to come back. Oh no, Vulture are delivering grain. They have got grain to deliver. They're evening it up. And before Helm could score properly on that 2.4 multiplier, Vulture have evened things up. How much does that cost them though? Because that means they've had to have a player in there emptying this at this point, while Helm are out there getting bales created and getting them scored.
Yeah, I mean, also Vulture, I think they have like about 12 bales, what I see on the stats. Sometimes we see the other side, sometimes we don't, depending from the observer. But they had about 12 bales, so it was about the same amount of bales which they pressed at the same time as Helm, but they just haven't been yet delivering those.
We've got Bale-tastic for Helm here, and that is because Vulture have managed to just not put any bales in up to this point. It's going badly for Vulture.
Yeah, Lord Baylor is here as well, so Super Drop is coming in. We have 3 minutes on the clock anymore, and of course Helm is leading. They have a double amount of points, so there will be definitely a time now for Vulture. They need to start delivering, and of course with the Lord Baylor they will get couple bales in, and that's actually a pretty good multiplier at the same time as they do have like 2.3, but the time is the essence. And Helm, we know how efficient they are.
And this is the question, is that the Vulture do have that advantage. They do have that 6 point per bale advantage. They've gone for that little bit of extra grain. They got the Lord Baylor, which has closed that gap quite a bit. And now they need to be scoring those points. Oh! And he's on his front wheels.
That is close.
Well controlled by Martin as he came over that safer route.
Yeah, Martin has definitely, he hasn't understood that this is not skateboarding. You actually need to drive it and just not go with the front wheels only.
He has dropped a bale though.
Yeah, we don't see that happening that often. Meanwhile, they're scoring 17 points per bale now. So it's going to be tight.
Oh no, it's gone horribly wrong for Vulture there.
I mean, this could be a deciding thing. I mean, only less than 2 minutes on the clock, and they have couple bales there, and you don't have any extra time for this kind of a moves anymore. We can see all the 3 players coming on this side of the bridges, and they will just start stacking everything in as much as they can. So we'll see how that goes. There's 3 now, 2 on the belt, 1 at the front. We can see also JK going for some kind of a delivery here. 1.5 minutes to go, and yeah, I mean, so many bales, but so few seconds.
They need to score every single one of these bales. Every single one's got to go in the next minute and 10 seconds.
Yeah.
They have this massive points advantage. This is the thing. If they could score the bales, they have to score far fewer than Helm do.
Yeah. But it's just 50 seconds to go. I mean, I don't really see that all the bales will go in. Martin takes a very close call there, but manages once again, goes with the front wheels only, and now they just need to start stacking all the bales in. And Helm is leading by 100 points. And if
And that's closed. That gap has closed considerably in the last minute.
It is. And they need to get all the bales in.
And Soren is now cleaning up his mess.
Yeah.
as Martin keeps scoring points for Helm. And that gap has closed even further. That's less than 60 points. No, that is 64 points, in fact.
Yeah, there will be 3 going on the first floor and maybe a couple on the second floor. But 10 seconds.
10
they don't
seconds.
have the time. They have to
They
climb,
can't
actually.
put them on
Martin
that
is
belt.
putting more. There's more bales going
Look
inside
at
from Helm as
throwing
well.
those bales in at the end, though.
They have this on the books for sure. And there we go,
And
the
there
last
we are.
seconds. And it will be Helm in the end.
That is...
It's close.
It's
it is
close.
hectic.
It is really hectic. And Vultra had the bales. I mean, how many undelivered bales were there? 2 undelivered bales for Vultra, 3 undelivered bales for Helm. We would never have seen that last season. Undelivered bales was just more than 1 undelivered bale was odd.
Yeah, definitely.
But look at the numbers that went into the bottom at the end there. 6 into the bottom for Vultra, 5 into the bottom for Helm. If Vultra had been able to get those 6 bales in the top, that would have been an easy win.
Yeah, but you just don't have the time anymore.
Don't have the time.
Yeah, I really like this actually because it is hectic and we see this last minute action happening all the time as well. So definitely enjoyable. So that is the first game on the new client on the FSL.
And for those in the chat asking where my hat is, it's here. And that's because the light's up there, and if I was to put it on, that's all you'd see of my face.
Yeah. I think there's this character in Star Wars who has this cloak and you don't see his face, so Alex would be like that.
Yeah, so I would disappear into the shadows if I had my hat on. But it is here, it is just that it's in front of me instead.
Yeah, somebody was wondering, do you actually have hair? So now it's proven that he actually has the hair.
I have hair.
Yeah, that's plenty of actually.
Thank you. Luscious and blonde.
But anyways, we should have the second game starting. I don't know how long it's going to take until we have it, but a couple of minutes maybe, then we'll get it. We should be getting some replays as well. I think we're going to be getting some interviews later on as well. So definitely a lot of content here on the FSL. On the first tournament, and of course the whole season, all the information about the rest of the season is also online. We do have an event in Gamescom, there's online events, there's like a LAN events as well, so it's kind of like a mixed up and definitely like towards the end of the year, so the fall should be pretty busy and a lot of farming simulator esports action happening, especially on this channel on the Giant Software. Make sure to follow if you don't do it already.
And yeah, I think it's going to be an interesting season ahead. I'm looking forward to the games that we've got for the tournaments we've got coming this season, because FSL always progresses and changes over the season. And as we get the new changes to the game arena, we always get teams refining their tactics. And you said to me before the stream, it is the tactics that we see now are not the tactics we're going to see when we get to the grand finals at the end of the season.
Yeah, true, and I mean, also we don't know if there's going to be changes like during the season. Last year we had a couple like small adjustments as well, so who knows? There could be changes as well, but I mean, there's plenty of changes right now, so we don't need any more for the moment. But just saying that, anything can happen, and I really like this like a fast-paced gameplay that we are currently seeing. They don't have so much time. I mean, of course, the first bale is still like very important, but kind of like if you do a mistake in the middle, it's like it means more than it did last season.
But I think the first bale is more important this season, because it's not just the number of points you score; it's how fast you can get out there and get collecting the grain and get everything back into position and scoring points. Because every second counts, and any unforced error, as you say, just causes so much more pain this season.
But I mean, we saw, also people, they understand that they have to deliver the bales very fast. That's why we saw the mistakes happening as well, because they're like hurrying to get it done. And yeah, but there we go. We have the bans coming in. We can see John Deere and Klaus Arion being banned.
The Arion is an interesting ban. I didn't expect to see that from Helm there. The John Deere 6M going as well. That is definitely, let's take away their favorite stacking tractor. Does leave open one of the telehandlers.
I like how we have these clicks sounds now as well on this face, because the last season we just saw that they pick something. Now we can, like, I get an audio cue that they have selected something, especially for the last minute changes or the last second changes, if those happen as well, like click, and then we change the scene.
And Martin taking the New Holland T6. Very happy to see that tractor out. With both teams going for the large ATAR John Deere. Valtra picking the Deutzfahr 7250 as well for their first stacking tractor. And yet, the Fendt 724 Vario going as the last tractor for both teams as well. Both teams, actually, we got an interesting thing with JK. So JK has taken the perk that allows him to see where the power-ups might drop. Which might give Helm a little bit of advantage with the power-ups.
We'll see. Well, there we go. Run for the pads happens once again. The seconds are running out, and we can see this New Holland being used. I think it's the first time that I actually see a blue tractor playing on the FSL, to be honest. I mean, it is lovely. I think the only blue thing that we saw last season was the big trailer.
The big trailer.
Yeah.
JK has managed to grab the large Massey Ferguson baler, and I think the class combine. Yeah, Valtra have got the John Deere combine. We saw Martin going for that a minute ago. So Martin actually has not been able to grab a combine. He got beaten to it by Valtra.
Yeah, we can see already that they are still on the field, so they have something building up.
So that's a delay to Helm's start there. They've still got off the bat, and the JK is still going in there for an early first bail, but because he's the far end of the field using their class combine, that's quite a way he's got to go. And Soren is already there, ready to score first point. And no! Oh!
I don't know what happened there, but that wasn't the plan. I mean, they had a great chance to get the first bail once again, like with the bigger points, but now JK probably will not do the same mistake. No, they still managed to get it before, so it's just 3 points of a difference now.
And but only had that was the points difference last game as well. We're coming up to the first drop. Sixth Sense has been activated for JK, so he knows where that is going to drop, and it's inside the barn.
And they just left from there. There we can see bail drop and speed limit. And speed limit actually could be a thing with this clock. I mean, I don't know. I mean, both teams maybe will pick the same if that's going to happen, but still, like, when you have less time and then you have a speed limit, so you cannot get the job done.
And both teams going for that first empty of their combines as well.
And there we can see speed limit.
Speed limit for both teams.
But anyways, so the work, which took more minutes during the last season, has begun here on the field. I mean, we saw them like circling for a long time and collecting the grain. But yeah, of course, now the pace is a whole lot faster. But as we can see, they are pretty much on the same parts of the map as well. I mean, this is almost like a mirror image, I would say. But yeah, let's see. I mean, on the last game, Valtra did actually get the multiplier for them. They had it on the mid game, then Helm took it back, then they got it for the end game as well. And yeah, I mean, if they wouldn't have made that small mistake with the bales on the bridge, I think that even could have changed the whole situation on the previous match.
Yeah. I think it'd be interesting to see what tactics Valtra employ this time insofar as dropping their grain. Whether Soren is going to go and unload now, or well, no, because he wouldn't be up there if he was thinking of not unloading a bit later. But no, they have just left the cart there.
Well, there's more.
That is a really full grain cart there that JK has. That is an impressive amount of grain that Helm have managed to pull together. Yeah, and that's just being out there that little bit longer than Valtra are out there collecting it.
Yeah, they have about 48k already, and they are still collecting it. So I think they definitely try to get the multiplier as their advantage now, because the last game, I don't think that's what they hope for, and they will start unloading immediately. They don't have any bales done. I mean, either of the sides, 6 minutes and no bales pressed at all.
I'm a little bit confused because Helm seemed to be doing what Vultra were doing last time, and Vultra seemed to be doing what Helm were doing last time.
Yeah.
And in fact, yeah, Helm have gone and they've not dropped all of their bales, but JK having trouble negotiating between those buildings.
Yeah, they don't have the bales. They have the multiplier for now, but they don't have the bales. And we saw actually Walter started to press the bales, so they had some coming up. We can see a crazy tool.
Crazy tool.
That is actually, I mean, all these drops, they actually have a different meaning now. I mean, crazy tool, if you can utilize it. We spoke last season that if you find a slot to actually use it, then yes. But I think that now it's like even more efficient here.
It's getting everything in.
Yeah. Okay, so there we go. We can actually see the setups being built here as well. We have 5 minutes down on the clock. No bales being delivered. Valtra, 7 bales now done. I'm not sure about Helm. I guess they are pressing them as well. And Lennox will just start pouring the grain in, and they will get the multiplier as their advantage. But at the same time, Martin will start unloading as well. So both teams are now unloading. And I think that Valtra is actually having more of it. So the multiplier, I guess, if they want to, they should be able to get it. And the crazy tool is going to be picked by Helm.
So Helm, yeah, just creating a crazy amount of bales. Can they get them all back to the barn in time? That is going to be the big trouble. They've got under 5 minutes, under 4.5 minutes to get that done.
Yeah, this is a little bit worrying. I mean, we don't see any bales for Helm yet. 4 minutes. So it's going to go very last second.
Have they pressed anything so
I think they had like a 1 bale, if I saw correctly. But, I mean, they must have a strategy. So let's see. We can see Søren this time. No mistakes on the bridge. And he's just going to deliver those right next to the belt on the Helm side. We don't currently know what is happening. But I'm assuming that they must be now doing the bales. That's got to be a thing. And then for sure, now we can see unloading happening at the same time as we see these bales being put on the belt. Both teams will try to take the advantage. I think Valtra, they are right.
Yeah. No, this is going to even things up.
Yeah.
So it's a 2.0 to 2.0. Bales are... How have Helm not got many bales when they ran Crazy Tool?
Yeah.
That's a
There we go, 9.
9 bales.
Yeah, it is when we are observing, when we're having like a single team view, we only see the other side. So, okay, so finally we'll see the stats. So it's 9. So they do have the bales, and now they just need to get him in. And I mean, the bale difference is 2. It's exactly the amount which Valtra did already deliver. Yeah. So this, I mean, if all the players can get the job done, it's going very close because the points per bale is the same. This could be just a couple points of a difference unless there's like a mistakes happening or somebody doesn't get it. But there's bale points available, and somebody wants to get that for sure.
Valtra needs to get up there and get those. Martin is Martin go? Martin might be going for them.
We'll see. But the good thing is that Helm is also starting to unload, and they have 11 bales for the moment, so that is good. But 2.5 minutes, so you have to be fast to get those in.
Martin is not going for those bale points. In fact, Valtra, I think, have grabbed those bale points. No, they haven't. They've just scored with bales.
Yeah, I mean, instead of bale points, he just wanted to go for bales.
Yeah. Well, sometimes it's not worth driving all the way out there for a single bale's worth of bale points.
Yeah, so maybe they just ignored it. But now the point difference is 2. And I would say that, yeah, we can see that the bale situation is pretty even. So once again, it comes down to the efficiency at the end, I would say. For sure, we don't see all of these bales what are still there on the field. We don't see them going on the second floor. So it will be, again, stacking on the first floor as well. There's a nice amount of bales actually ready for Martin. If you look at that, I mean, that 1 bale for sure is not going to go in. No. But then he still has like 5 more bales, so he could be putting 7 bales in, maybe the 8 bale as well as it dropped. And that's a good chunk of points if he can actually do it. But that's another bale. This is something which we don't see from Martin that often. I mean, he made a small mistake on the last game as well, and now he has dropped 2 bales from the belt. That is like very uncommon.
But this is the whole thing of having to move so much quicker. You know, you're that little bit less precise, so those errors are going to come in. And he has made it over there. Ooh, Luca very
Close.
nearly going off the side.
Yeah. But he manages it. I mean, we saw that one mistake on the last game, but then, I mean, on the safer route. And now we can see, yeah, the bales will go for the first floor as well. The last minute has started, and Helm, suddenly they have claimed the lead. But of course, I mean, this amount of bales, this is like can you get all of those in 50 seconds? Like
this is the trouble. This is Vulture's problem at the moment, is that they're great at pressing the bales, but look at Helm. Helm have no bales on the ground with 40 seconds left.
Yeah.
Vulture have tons of bales sitting all around their the bottom of their barn.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, Helm, they have a good efficiency. And of course, I mean, maybe, and that is just maybe, but maybe it is also a thing that people don't get, like, completely understand, like, how many bells you need. So they will just press, you know, in case a little bit more. But now, almost 100-point lead for Helm, 10 seconds to go. And you cannot get any more bales on the second floor, I mean, on the Vulture side. So I said that Helm will have this under the books.
Look at that! Look at that! How many bales are left there?
A lot. So yeah.
Helm, not a single bale on the ground at the end of that.
Yeah.
And Vulture have points sitting all around their belt.
And the players are happy, as you can see. So it's there we can see the stats. So the difference is actually more than 100 points
but
delivered
there's
bales.
200 points worth of bales on the ground for Vulture.
Yeah, on 10 undelivered bales. That is a lot.
That is a hell of a lot.
Yeah. So yeah. Yeah, it's, when I saw all those bales there next to the belt, I was like, this looks like a kid in a candy shop. Like, you know, you have so many options that you don't know what to do. And then you just end up like standing on the middle doing nothing.
You could see them having trouble at the end, though. They had that, they were trying to get the bales on, and bales were falling off the side of the front loader, and they just weren't able to get the bales that they'd got in on the conveyor. And they'd have been better off pressing 5 less bales and spending that time to get those 5 bales on.
True, definitely. I mean, they had I think on the mid game, I was watching at the stats and I was like, yeah, this is actually looking pretty good for Vulture. They had a bale. I think they had like a slight advantage on the middle because they you know, the grain game ended up even, and then they did have a couple of deliveries. So I think that they had a chance of winning it. But unfortunately, the chaos around the belt took that away.
And Helm once again showing why they're so good, why they've won so many of these tournaments.
Yeah. So Helm is going to go to the grand final, and then, well, unfortunate for Vulture, this is the end of a tournament for them. And of course, we still have the second semi-final, and that is New Holland versus Mind Sanity.
Yes.
So that'll be an interesting one as well. And who knows? Maybe we'll have, well, we'll see what the second team on the final will be. But last season, so many times we saw Helm playing against the New Holland. So maybe the same trend continues. But you don't know. We don't know yet.
It's yeah. Could we have a New Holland? Could we actually have Mind Sanity in a final this early in the season? That would be a really big boost for them.
Well, there we go. We go for a short break, and we'll be. And welcome back. It's going to be time for the second game. So yeah, we saw the first one, and now we're going to be seeing the replays from the first one. And then, of course, we have the very interesting second semi-final.
Yep, I think it's going to be a really interesting second semi-final. New Holland and Mind Sanity up next. So I think these are two teams that have done well in the past. I'm very pleased to see both of them through to the semi-finals today. First, we have some replays of the last match. And this class, it's a good thing this paid off, because if this hadn't paid off, that tractor and that combine, that tractor would have been stuck under that combine, and Helm would have had a huge problem.
Yeah, I really want to see the what happened there at the safer route, because I think that was the biggest. Yeah, there we go. That's
so yeah.
That is, I think that's one of the biggest crashes I have ever seen. Though I hope that he has a driver's license in real life and that doesn't try the same kind of tricks there. And that's one bail, by the way, on the river as well.
Yeah, and and he wasn't quite quick enough to pick up there, Soren, and get back. But you can see all of these are showing how much the teams are having to rush around now in order to get bails and how much little mistakes are getting brought in.
Yeah, he actually got. We saw the replay when he was actually climbing up on the belt, and he actually got that second bail in one, which was like almost like sideways. I don't know how he did it, but that was definitely something. But yeah, definitely, I mean, unforced errors, or maybe they are like time-forced errors. I don't know what you call them. So we are seeing a lot of those happening for now, and we know, I mean, even Helm made mistakes, so we can just expect anything.
And you can see how carefully they're going over these bridges and things in the second game. Just shows how much they're trying to just take a little more time, because while it does impact them, it impacts them less than a mistake happening and bales flying everywhere.
Yeah.
So hopefully we'll see teams get better at doing this and these time constraints over the season.
Yeah, I would say that the time is like pressing putting the pressure on, and so I would say that the mechanical skills of the players, they are like definitely more needed than the last season. You had a time to think it was more like a strategy oriented, but now it's definitely coming to the mechanical skills of the players as well. How well they handle and how well they know the vehicles as well. You know how much you can actually push them on a corner, for example, that they don't go sideways.
Yeah. So we're going into our game with Mind Sanity, or our match with Mind Sanity versus New Holland, our second semi-final of the day. It's New Holland are a team that have come along a long way since the start of last season. They started off last season as Femias Flamboyants. And yeah, halfway through the season, got sponsored by New Holland, and they've been a really, really good team to follow.
Yeah, it's been a great ride, and I really hope that they can challenge Helm this season as they did last season as well. Just as a reminder, we are, by the way, at the FarmCon, if you didn't know, and I would definitely recommend all of you guys come to the next FarmCon if you were not able to come here, because it's a great event. And somebody was asking on the chat, for example, about the streams yesterday. Well, we had all the action here, so just come and see. There's a lot of great things, and the Deutsche Fahr has been, I mean, they have been providing an excellent venue for the event as well. Such a lovely people, so helpful, and everything has been just spot on. And one thing that I love the most here, as we are now casting here, of course, live, but then also because we are sitting right behind the stage, and you know, there's a very big PA system here. So when we're actually watching the game and when the tractor was going, the table was actually like moving. So
every time a mistake happened, the roar that's coming from behind us is absolutely incredible.
Yeah. So yeah, definitely a worthwhile of coming here. So just next year, book your tickets and be at FarmCon. That's the only thing I'm gonna say about it anymore.
And I've heard next year's venue is going to be really cool as well.
Okay.
I don't know where it is. I don't know much more than that, but I've heard it's going to be a great venue.
Okay,
So.
I'll trust on that. I have no information about that, but if you say it's a cool place, then it's gotta be a cool place because Alex only knows cool places.
I have it under good authority.
Ah, okay. Well, that is next year. Let's focus on this one.
Focus on this year.
Yeah. So we're waiting for the teams to come up. The second semi-final, as mentioned, Mind Sanity versus New Holland, and I don't know. Do you have any takes on this? Mind Sanity, I think last season they got some good results. They were not like always challenging, but of course this changed on the rules. And I always think that they were pretty good mechanical players. Their strategies just didn't work out for them that well.
They're a team who have been part of the FSL from back when it was the Farming Simulator Championship, all the way back in season 1. And it's been really interesting seeing their progress over the seasons. They have got better and better as time goes on. We've seen them in the tournament finals pretty much every year, I think, in that last 16 bracket. And I'm really, really pleased to see them in a semi-final, possibly heading towards a final today. That would be a really good start to their season. They do have to overcome New Holland, who, as we said, have been a real revelation over the last season. So if they can beat New Holland here, I think that would be a minor upset. I think a lot of people would expect New Holland to go through from this match.
Yeah, for sure.
But I think it's open to either team going through here.
Okay, so there we go. We have the game starting up. Didn't have the teams presented on stage, or maybe I missed something. But there we go. We know who these guys are. So we go for the banning phase, as we can see. And let's see if this is going to follow the same pattern which we had on the Helm game as well.
Wow, we've got immediately the New Holland Elite telehandler.
Yeah, that is a psychological game. I mean, you delete New Holland as a first option. That's got to be the case.
We had the same thing with Helm against Vultra. They banned the Vultra tractor both times.
Yeah, it's definitely a sign. Well, the both telehandlers are now gone. Manito has been banned as well. Let's see what's going to be taken next. It's going to be John Deere. 6120M.
There's the stacking stuff is all getting banned at this stage, which is interesting. This is an attempt at disruption, although the JCB's gone, which nobody's picked yet. 2 tractors nobody's picked have been banned by My Insanity.
A bottleneck on the both sides. We saw that happening last season. But didn't we have Unstoppable on the second game on the last series?
Both so same rules as we had at the end of last season. Any team perk that gets picked by a team in the first match cannot get picked, or gets picked in the match cannot get picked any subsequent matches.
Okay, so let's see the players. Under pressure, Archimedes. Under pressure.
We've got Runner coming out for New Holland. Are they going to drop Archimedes? They still do have 4 points left. It depends which tractor they go with. They've gone with the big John Deere, and they have got Archimedes ++ as well.
Okay, so we are all set. And now we are loading the game, as the client says.
This is a very different setup to the ones we saw last match. Both teams gone for large tractors without front loaders and just a single front loader tractor. Whereas both the other teams had a large tractor with 2 front loaders in the first game.
Well, there we go. The time is running, and L. Rhodes will be the first player to leave from the gate. He's going to be heading towards the pads.
He's
a bit of water, not going to matter at all.
Yeah, he's after the Fent Baler.
Yeah, looks okay. Shouldn't be much of a mistake here. There we go. It is being collected. And let's see what else. We can see actually something going on there. So we can see My Insanity not getting what they want. So that's going to cost some time. And they will go for the second baler. We can see already My Insanity going for the fields and just, starting to collect. The baler probably will come behind it ASAP. as soon as it can. And we can see John here. He's going to go and collect that and make the bale. And he's actually pretty close to the barn as well. So this could be a good first bale. We haven't seen like a magical first bales yet. But yeah, let's see.
And Mind Sanity have managed to get both of those class combines, so that is really crucial. That will help them to get a much larger grain game in this first match. And Jan coming in for Mind Sanity.
Yeah,
137 is a really good score.
Yeah, it is definitely. I'm just waiting to see when we start getting those like, what is that? L Rhodes making a huge jump there. Look at the smile. Look at the smile. He was like, yeah, I'm going to go from here.
That is an impressive.
We don't need a bridge.
Impressive crossing.
And I'm pretty sure that Helm is now currently watching all these guys. They know, I mean, all these players, they have been scouting, you know, the new client, how you can play, what kind of jumps you can make. We saw that last season on the older client as well. So if Helm hadn't spotted that earlier, I'm pretty sure that they are currently just marking their books.
I get a big feeling that at some point this season, that gap, that water ditch, that is going to get widened.
Yeah. Silo closed. And it's good to remember now, okay, so we had a herbicide and we had a silo closed, but the good thing is that, not a good thing, but the good thing to understand is that even though the whole game time has been reduced from 15 to 10, but the times on the drops, they are the same. So silo close is actually, you know, it's longer than it was before when you put it on the relation with the actual game time. And
a silo closed could absolutely destroy a team's setup if they, if one team managed to deliver and the other gets a silo closed, that will be devastating.
Yeah, it was 90 seconds, so that's like 1.5 minutes, and that's a lot. If you pick that up at the 8:30, the first time you can actually drop some grain is like 6 minutes. So, sorry, 7. My math is wrong.
And I'm trying to tell, Mind Sanity don't seem... I thought they were going to go for an early grain drop and then close the silo. But they don't seem to be going for that. And that does open that up for New Holland at the moment.
Yeah. Well, grain still being collected. We already passed the time if they would have gone for the silo close at 8:30. So then it would have been now open already. So we'll see what kind of an impact that will have later on when somebody will actually pick it up. We can see L Rhodes is going for the delivery. This time he doesn't have to make that huge jump to get to the silo. You can actually just drive there amongst the buildings. And at the same time, yeah, both teams are of course collecting. So we can see New Holland collecting the grain and Mind Sanity doing the same as well. So both teams, the strategies look pretty similar actually. But of course the New Holland first bale is like 20-something points less.
That is a different way of unloading though than we've seen any other team at the moment. And I think teams very much are trying to work out at the moment how is the best place to place our overloader so we can get combines in and unload extra later on.
Well, there it goes. So the multiplier, New Holland 2.9 currently, and the belt actually, 1.0 for Mind Sanity. Not gonna say anything about the belt, but it's pretty broken. So that's about it. We can see new drops coming in already. We haven't seen even what they are. Mind Sanity is definitely clearly waiting. So they did leave the stuff here, and now they're just waiting for the right time. And we can see John actually pressing the bales as well. So yeah, they will have a strategy, but they will have to do something about the grain for sure.
Is he sitting there waiting to unload? Because that seems to be a mistake.
Yeah, if he's actually sitting there. But I didn't see a player inside.
But you can't sit there and have... that's Crazy Tool and...
Grain multiplier.
Grain multiplier and Mind Sanity.
Yeah, now they will start unloading immediately when they got the multiplier.
I said it was a mistake. It no longer seems like a mistake.
Yeah, things change fast. And yeah, now they are already... well,
and New Holland are scrambling now.
Yeah, because I mean the 20 points, well 25, well 24 points which they lost on the first bale, that's backfiring now as well. We can see Tita just running to get equipment. So they are losing time, and my insanity, this looks very good for them currently. I mean, they have the multiplier, they still have about 18k of grain, and they actually will start delivering. It's 4 minutes, and they can start delivering the bales with the high multiplier, and that is actually very good. And they still have more grain waiting here, so if New Holland does something about it, as they now have the multiplier as well, and will start probably unloading it, as we can see that they're doing it currently. So these guys, they can strike back.
New Holland have yet to deliver any grain. They're halfway through that grain multiplier and have yet to deliver any grain. They do have a full overloader now coming in to do it.
There it goes.
30 seconds left. I think they can unload all of this.
Yeah, but look at the bale difference. It's 14 bales for My Insanity and just 4 bales for New Holland. So even if they now fix the multiplier, they are way back doing the work they should have been doing earlier. So definitely
look
there's
at that
a problem.
Though. 2.3 times multiplier from New Holland here. And no way really for My Insanity to respond to that. So the important thing now is New Holland need to press bales like mad.
Yeah.
To try and well, match up the bale amounts.
True. I mean, yeah. My Insanity, they did manage to deliver a couple bales, so they're now leading by, what is like 80-something points, almost 90 points, what they're leading at. So, and they have a decent amount of bales. We can see bales coming to New Holland as well, 7 for the moment. We can see multiplier switch actually. So if My Insanity actually, if they will go for this multiplier switch, and if they have the bales waiting, they have a chance of like, you know, gaining even more points more than New Holland.
They time it right, and they cause a massive upset there.
Yeah. Massive setup. That is your streaming cave. I know. I know.
Well, if they do a massive setup, they can cause a massive upset.
Yeah. Well, there's just bales on the ground. We can see Hannes going for the barn. So I think it's gonna be about the time when My Insanity can start delivering.
My Insanity have so many bales on the ground now. They need to start loading these on that belt. They have just 2 minutes left.
Yeah, I think
to get these delivered, and their stacker is out there collecting bales.
Yeah, they are bringing more, but we can see Hannes going back, so he wants to get something more. Gonna go. No, what is this? He's gonna take the different bridge. It's just gonna be racing, so he didn't want to risk it. I think there might have been time to just, you know, go full force
I think
through.
he could have launched himself off that. It's not like he was gonna drive onto it and suddenly hit the edge of the bridge. Trouble that has had is that blocked his teammate from coming over over the safer route. So yeah.
But anyway, it happened. It's 1.5 minutes to go anymore. We can see TTA going for the belt, so now definitely unloading happens. My Insanity having 17 bales compared to, okay, New Holland now has 10. But I think the point difference on the multiplier difference, it's not that big. I mean, 6 points per bale, and the lead from My Insanity is more than 100 points. So if they just, you know, do the work normally, if there's no mistakes, I might be wrong, but I don't really see New Holland coming back from this, to be honest.
I think it all depends on how well these teams get bales on the belt. Yes, having more bales is a good place to be, but it's no good if you can't score them. And there's only 45 seconds left on the clock.
Yeah.
And My Insanity have so many bales kicking around to the bottom now.
Yeah. I think the biggest difference, well, okay, maybe not the biggest difference, but the difference definitely a difference is that we see now multiple front loaders putting the stuff on the belt, because on the past we only had just like one guy responsible from the belt, and we saw that on the last game as well, and of course that also means that you can do more mistakes.
We saw there Jan has a big problem. He has a bale that is stuck on his front loader that he cannot get rid of. 12 seconds left. I think you're right now. I think there's no way New Holland can close this gap.
Yeah,
they don't have the bales.
500 points for My Insanity already, and New Holland, they will stick with about 400. Okay, that's a pretty good, nice push off the end, but still.
As I said, that is an upset.
It is.
That really is.
Yeah.
My Insanity playing one hell of a game there.
I can actually hear the players because they are right behind us. I heard they were just so happy, and they were just like, you know, knocking the table a little bit, like, yeah, let's go, boys.
And My Insanity won that with 3 undelivered bales. And 23 bales in total to 18, so 5 extra bales. You're right, halfway through, where New Holland had no bales done, and Mine Santi had an entire pile of them.
Yeah. Well,
That was
it is an upset.
and New Holland just were unable to get those bales in there. I mean, they had 6 bales in the bottom.
True.
That they should so easily had more going up the top. But it's time. Time is just a luxury that nobody has
Yeah.
in FSL this season.
Yeah, it's. I mean, one small mistake will cost you time. Like, for example, we saw what happened with the bridges, that he didn't go for it, needed to make a U-turn. That is like a 15 seconds wasted.
Yeah.
And when you put that into to this new timeline, then it's a lot of time. So you can't afford any mistakes, not big or small. We didn't see like a huge mistakes there to happen at all. But the small ones, when they add up, then of course it will have an impact.
And New Holland actually were left scrambling at that grain multiplier. I think part of the reason why they had less bales pressed was because they tried to get as much grain in under that grain multiplier as they could. Whereas what they possibly should have done was taken a little bit less grain and pressed a few more bales at that moment. Because they took ages to... I mean, half the time had gone on the grain multiplier before they even started emptying anything.
Yeah, true. I guess the teams are trying to find the balance currently. Like we saw in the previous match that there was like too many bales at the end. Now there was too much grain. So I think it's the strategies. Of course, they have practice, so they know. But then the problem is when you need to adapt on this very short time. They see that the opponent is doing this. We actually need to do this, and then you might have a bit of an extra grain or bales. But I think it's maybe it's a bit of like just like putting stuff on the wall and seeing what sticks.
Yes. Yeah.
At the moment.
And I think a lot of teams, as we said before, will refine all of this as the tournament goes on. It's all very raw. It's all very untested at this point. And as they play each other and as they go through the season more, it absolutely will get tighter. And those little mistakes we're seeing at this stage, they will just start disappearing.
Yeah, that is true. Anyways, the second game is just about to start, as you can see. Mine Sanity, New Holland, and by the way, we can also expect to have some new photos probably during the season, because we have a photo booth here.
We do.
Where all the players have been photographed. I don't think that they have yet made the broadcast fully, but for sure there will be some photos coming up.
And again, New Holland banning, well, actually New Holland banning the New Holland telehandler. Whereas Mine Sanity are going to ban the Manitou telehandler.
Yeah, it's the same what we saw in the last game as well. So let's see what are the next ones. But yeah, definitely the both telehandlers taken away. We can see the players meanwhile just...
I think we've got a... Nope, we are good. JCB getting banned. What all of the front loader tractors this year have the manure forks on them instead of the bale spikes. So that means every single front loader tractor can take 3 bales.
Yeah. Okay. Those are the bans. Nothing that special on it, to be honest. About the same as what we had on the last game.
Both
big
teams
haul.
go for big haul.
Interesting to see.
And we have a new tractor unit on the big haul this year.
I'm just wondering, I mean, if you want to use the big haul, then you have to collect more grain to utilize it. So, and with the time, we saw that there was too much grain on the last game already. So, I don't know, maybe just get like overdose from grain or something like that.
I think whoever gets Lexion, a second Lexion combine here, is going to get in is going to be in a very big advantage.
Okay. We can see that they're holding the papers. So they are like, this just tells how much changes there's for the players. They actually have to, check it like from the sheet. Like, okay, what does this actually mean? What can they do? How many horsepower? And I mean, Alex remembers all of those fine details. Like, oh, it has like 12 valves.
I haven't printed out my sheets yet.
Yeah. I mean, well, if you would have the same sheet as last year, I mean, the same size, then probably you wouldn't be able to fit that on the luggage to get here in Germany. So maybe it's a good thing that you print when you get it home.
I picked up a very nice Farming Simulator messenger bag this weekend.
Yeah, I
and it's
noticed
proven
that.
to be really useful.
I noticed. Okay, there we go. Once again, the second game is starting. El Rose, and what was the one which you said that's going to decide all of this?
So it's the Lexian Combine. Whichever team gets 2 Lexian Combines, and I think it might be New Holland. New Holland has definitely already got a Lexian. Whether they've, and in fact, yes, My Insanity have picked that. So 2 Lexian Combines has gone to New Holland. That is going to be a real help with their grain game and that big haul truck.
Well, let's see. I mean,
they're struggling to get that Fent Baler though.
Yeah, it's a slow start for both of the teams. I mean, the first bail is going to be low for both of them, I would say. But yeah, I'm very excited to see how this goes. I mean, you said that, yeah, they have the big haul and they have the 2 the Lexions, but then on the other side, I mean, we haven't seen the strategy yet, so it's not like proven. So it could be a risk as well if somebody else comes up with something else.
Both tractors over that bridge.
Yeah,
this is going to be a very close first bail, and
no! He misses that.
That is first bail going to My Insanity.
Yeah, but it's only a 2-point of a difference, so it's not that bad. When I saw the bail coming out of the bail, I was like, "Oh, don't come yet! Don't come yet!" That is the same thing you want to say when you're like driving to the hospital to give birth as well. Like, don't come out yet. But there we go. So 2 points of a difference, and we have the first drops as well.
First drop immediately after first bail.
Yeah, direct
delivery versus British raised.
Yeah, the bridges, I mean, they have a different kind of a meaning as well. It's 2 minutes long. It's 120 seconds. So that is a lot, and there we can see the big haul, and that is
with the Mack truck on the front.
I'm not sure if we're actually watching Farming Simulator or Transformers, because that's like, to me, that is Optimus Prime.
Yeah, not enough flames.
Yeah, true. But they can fix it. I mean, they told here at the Deutschfall factory that you can customize the tractor to have whatever you can. And I asked from the factory personnel, can I get it with flames? And they said yes. So, but that's yeah, definitely an Autobot.
Copter's flaming Deutz.
Yeah, I just need to buy a farm before I get the tractor. Anyway, there we go. So, nothing were picked.
Nope.
No
in all honesty, I don't think
delivery.
either of those was particularly useful to either team to go out their way to get.
Yeah. But that is, oh my God, that is just, I don't know. It is just Optimus Prime for me. I don't know. It's just the childhood memories coming up from seeing that. But of course, it didn't transport grain. But there's some similarities definitely with the truck.
That is a Mack Pinnacle, isn't it? Yeah. So that would be the first movie Optimus.
Yeah, it is beautiful. I mean, the model. You said that it's a new one, so it is beautiful, to be honest. I fell in love immediately. Anyway, so yeah, both teams are trying to collect as much grain as they can. 49 versus 45k. So My Insanity leading the grain game. Couple of bales being pressed by New Holland, maybe by not by accident, but you know, on the way. And we can see Seekling is actually going for and just delivering them here. Gonna unload them. We'll leave them next to the belt most probably because there's no multiplier advantage or anything like that. So maybe doesn't want to deliver them yet. But I don't know. What do you think, Alex? How much time they would waste if they would deliver them right away when they come here? Because we have seen now that there's not all the bales being delivered. But meanwhile, he's gonna be getting stuck on the bridge, but just barely gets out before it starts the race.
I think at this stage, this early stage, dropping the bales there, that's fine. You want to be getting these tractors out with this baler and be pressing as many bales as possible. Because this is the only tractor that's out there doing that at the moment. And that's what gave My Insanity a good advantage last time. They were out pressing bales with a single tractor and baler when New Holland weren't. The trouble is that you then don't want to be putting bales on the belt because that means your front loader tractor has to come in as well. Grain multiplier again.
Yeah.
And this time with the big haul.
Yeah, this is interesting. And the bridge is lowered. I mean, that's not that bad either. Because I think all these, they have a little bit different kind of a meaning now. So with the current time, having bridges down for 2 minutes,
Yeah.
and if you think about the like the end game madness, okay, we're not gonna go that far away, but still, if you're currently in the phase that you're delivering bales,
Oh no!
that is something.
Cygnus taking out the bale stacks for New Holland. That is disastrous for them. That's going to take them longer to get those bales on. And now PB needs to be, I think, scoring points with bales. Once
Multiplier.
the moment this comes, yeah. Look at the speed
50,000.
on that.
Yeah, that is fast. I mean, he just delivered like.
Oh my lord!
that is fast. I mean,
and then they got 60,000
yeah,
liters
yeah,
each. These
yeah.
teams, and it's just gonna disappear in a blur.
That is
Look
fast.
at that!
But they're just battling. I think they have the same amount, and they both have the multiplier. So will
yeah,
they end up with
there
exactly the same 2.0? So nice try with the big haul, but it's exactly even. But I mean, they needed to do it. If they wouldn't have done it, the other one would have, and then they would be screwed.
But I'm hoping Mindsanity at least tried to get their bales on the belt.
Yeah.
They had their player there. PB was there, ready to put them on there. They had a tiny window where they could have scored a maximum multiplier, and I don't think they did. But that would have been, the time to do it.
Well, back to the fields. Now they need the bales, so that is happening right now. And I mean, the time is running out. As we can see, 3.5 minutes only remaining, and we can see that Mindsanity has delivered some bales, but not that many. No deliveries for New Holland. The multiplier is going to stay exactly on 2.0. So yeah, I mean, Mindsanity, I would say that they definitely have a slight advantage. They still have 14 bales, but they have the time. And Cygnus, this
Cygnus
could be. Oh my! I mean, this could be.
He cannot move.
This is the deal breaker. This is right here. I don't think that because of this is going to cost so much time. They're going to lose some bales as well. 3 minutes on the clock, and as they have been all the time just slightly behind, and the multiplier switch doesn't matter at all.
Elroad's going up there for absolutely nothing.
Yeah.
New Holland are just getting time sink after time sink.
Yeah, that is bad, but okay. Let's see.
And over 100 points in it now.
Yeah.
There's, 110, just over 110 points.
They have the bales, but I mean, again, there's a chaos around the belt, as we can see. So, but
although
okay.
They have more time this time.
Yeah, they have more time. Tita is doing a good job. I mean, they are pretty finely aligned, so he can just do the work. So I think that if Tita will get all those in now, before, let's say,
and Tita has altered his name slightly this year, so it's actually readable and not all
the we struggled with the old one so many times, not knowing how to say it, but Tita Tattoo.
Yeah.
It's almost like Hakuna Matata.
There's a wonderful T-shirt with that going around yesterday. I don't know if you saw.
Yeah, I saw that as well. But yeah, so now they are doing the work. And they're not that far behind anymore. So no. They'll still have a chance.
New Holland have been loading bales when they should have been loading bales, and they have closed this gap.
Yeah.
Hopefully, it is now just, do they have enough bales to finish this off?
I think they have a pretty. I think New Holland actually has a slight advantage on the bales. I think they had like two or three more.
Yeah, they have the bales to do this. As long as they can get them in. If everybody delivers all their bales, they have the bales to win this. They do need to get them in the top.
Yeah, but 1 minute, I mean, that needs to be like a 6 seconds per bale average. So I don't think that they can at least get all of the bales to the second floor, for sure. So they will have to shove something down, so this is going to go close.
It's just over 1 bale. Gap. It's actually 2 bale gap at the moment.
Okay, now New Holland takes the lead instead. So
yeah, there we go.
This is going to be one of those close battles.
This could be the point.
Yeah, everybody's just working around the bell. 35 seconds to go. There's a couple more going in for Mindsanity, and we can see from the X-ray that there's also stuff going in from New Holland. And something is going on the
Oh,
first floor as
no.
well. One bale is going to drop down from
That's
My
not
Insanity.
good.
That is not good.
Insanity
And there's a couple
need
going for
these.
New Holland.
19 seconds. 2 bales going in for New Holland.
Gonna be so close, and I'm a bit afraid about the first
Oh.
bale and the last one. Oh, he's gonna fix that. He's gonna fix that. Does he have
But
the time? It
it's
could
not.
be the deciding
No,
bale.
it's
They
30
will go
points in it.
inside.
It's so close.
It's so close.
And
the last
New
bale.
Holland are gonna
Does
take
it go?
Are they?
Yeah.
Yes.
It's gonna
New
be New
Holland have got
Holland.
it.
They will take it.
Wow.
Talking about being excited.
So that was just back and forth the whole way.
So
that
close.
would have been my insanities had that bale not fallen off the side.
Yeah.
That's crazy. And there we go. Both teams delivering all their bales. One bale created less for my insanity.
True. And anyway, the point difference is like 16 points.
Yeah.
So it's less than one bale.
It was that one bale that fell
Yeah.
off the side.
Yeah.
No. So they needed two more bales in the top.
Yeah. Well, it is what it is.
Yeah.
Anyway, it's a great ending and
Oh,
great
one more
game.
bale.
So that means
Wow.
that we got to go for the third one on the series
is.
as well. So finally, a third match on the series. Okay, on the second game, that's completely fine. And I mean, yeah, My Insanity, they looked good during the game, like earlier as well. I think they had a good chance of winning that as well. And of course, then they would have just advanced to the finals. But New Holland, they did the work. And I was a bit worried when they managed to get the tractor and the baler stuck on the bridge. Because that, I don't know, 30 seconds maybe lost or something like that. We didn't see like when he got away from the situation,
Yeah.
but probably 30 seconds lost. So without that, they probably would have been able to win it like with a bigger margin. Maybe.
That was being stuck on that bridge. Really thought they were in trouble at that point.
Yeah, it
Really thought that they were going to lose so much time that was going to allow My Insanity to pull ahead and win that. But no, New Holland started stacking their bales and started scoring points when they needed to.
And imagine My Insanity, if New Holland wins the third game. I mean, My Insanity won the first game and they had a very good situation the second one as well. So then we can say that they were really close. I think if New Holland wins the third one, then I would say that for My Insanity, it's probably one of the most even series we have seen for a while.
Yeah.
But
And
okay, let's not go ahead of things.
And they are playing so well, My Insanity.
Mm.
I mean, it's to lose that by only 16 points and to have won the first game by a considerable margin. They're playing well. They've got a good start to the season.
Yeah, definitely they are playing well. So now they just have to, collect their thoughts, prepare for the third game. We're not gonna see Big Hall anymore. So
Nope. So yeah, that's the thing, that the number of choices they have.
So is it unstoppable this time? Maybe.
I think it's unstoppable.
Yeah.
I think most teams choose those three.
Yeah.
So
we'll figure it out as soon as the game starts. But definitely, it will be interesting. It will be interesting, and just got the information on my headphones that it's going to be starting in a couple of seconds. So the last game of the second semi-final will decide who's going to go to the grand final. It's going to be My Insanity or New Holland or NH, because somebody needs to use a smaller font. Well, there we go. The bans are coming in. I don't expect to see a lot of changes here. We had the telehandlers being banned, New Holland, and then we have the Manito coming up as a second one, JCB and John Deere.
Yep, I would be surprised if we saw any surprises at this point, or any deviations from where they've gone. It's been working fairly well for the teams for that.
And one thing I gotta mention, I mean, we spoke about the tractors, we spoke about Deutschfahr. So you can actually drive a Deutschfahr tractor here live in FarmCon. So if you would be here, you would be able to drive the biggest, the baddest tractor on the field. They actually have a slalom course for the tractor here.
I actually got my first experience of GPS.
Okay.
Because they set up a GPS of the course. So the first time I drove around it, I drove it myself. The second time I drove around it, took my hands off the steering wheel, set the GPS, and the tractor drove itself around the course.
And there we go, unstoppable it is. Meanwhile, as we're talking about the Deutschfahr. And one thing, I mean, if you didn't know, because this was news to me, Deutschfahr, they have their own song. You can actually find that from Spotify.
Yeah.
And last night when we had like a dinner, a bit of a dancing. So we were dancing on the Deutschfahrt song. So go and check out from Spotify the Deutschfahrt song.
I have been sent it by Kermit. He sent it the group chat. So I will have to share that with everybody.
Yeah.
I will get that tweeted out later today.
Yeah, it was. I heard it for the first time yesterday. I was like, what is this? Okay, they have a song.
If it's stuck in my head, it has to be stuck in your head now.
And then I had some lovely staff, because I don't speak German, and the song is German, so I got a translation from it as well. So, but anyways, the game is going to start. We can stop talking about the Deutschfahrt song. And,
we have had a little bit of a change, though. Mind Sanity have reserved the New Holland Combine. While New Holland have reserved the John Deere Combine. Looks like they wanted to give themselves a little bit of extra points to do something. But both teams left a point on the table. And not a great start there for Elrodis as he hits the edge, but doesn't seem to have any competition going for that Kuhn Baylor. No, he's been trying to go. He mistook. He mistook the Kuhn Baylor for the Massey Ferguson one, and as a result, lost the Massey Ferguson Baylor. I'm not sure. I don't know the reasoning behind the two teams going for these combine choices. Interestingly.
Yeah. Well, the first Baylor is just to come, and let's see. My Insanity trying to figure out from which side they're gonna pass. We can see L Rhodes. I think it's gonna be good for My Insanity actually. I mean, New Holland seems to be a little bit farther behind. And Jan is gonna go for the first bail. This could be actually the first more than 140 bail. With couple seconds, that's gonna be the deciding factor. And it's gonna be 143. That is a good first bail.
Fantastic first bail there from My Insanity. That's a really strong start for them.
And one thing I gotta mention, like we see the second bail for the New Holland as well. Then I'll tell what I have in mind. But this is gonna take a time. I mean, it's gonna be a pretty big gap. This is gonna be like 120, maybe, if even that. So this is a huge lead from My Insanity. More than one bail for sure. They are leading because now it's like over 35 seconds slower. So L Rhodes, let's see the bail, but it is like a 110, maybe. No, not even that. Like a 103. So
that's 2 full bails behind.
Yeah, it is 2 full bails. So one thing I have to mention, because it just came to my mind, every time when they go for the harvesters and then you kind of like start it up and you have the top silo opening up, it always reminds me from James Bond movies. You know, you have some secret hideout and you have the satellite dish coming from the water, or on Goldfinger, or it comes from the island and so on. So that just reminds me from that. Then we have the drops as well.
And it's bridges raised and silos closed, neither of which is useful to either team right now.
Yeah. But okay, My Insanity, everything is looking pretty good for them for the moment. But New Holland, I mean, on the last game, they actually came back. Of course, the first bail is, I mean, 40 points is a lot.
Yeah.
Last season, when there was, let's say, like a 20 points of a difference, I didn't like it was great to see those first bails, but in the end, coming with the strategy and the time, I think that you were able to overcome that 20-point gap. But now it's definitely harder.
Is Jan gonna empty that, or nope? He is just gonna leave it there, ready for the drop after. Yeah, that has just been left there. You can see him in the background running towards his tractor.
They are waiting. More grain being collected. We can see L Rhodes taking that trailer and just gonna be heading towards the silo. Let's see what comes next. Well, there we go. New Holland players. And they have the New Holland shirts as well. I think last season we see them with the New Holland shirts.
Yeah, I think they had it right up at the final.
Okay.
I think they were there.
But okay, there we go.
Yeah, New Holland now bringing their grain in. That is, I think that's a
Yeah,
full thing.
my Insanity actually has like
I was gonna
57,000.
say, I just noticed that. That's a huge amount of grain
Yeah,
that
that is.
that My Insanity have over New Holland.
Yeah. And there's gonna be a drop in about 15 seconds. So grain multiplier, hello. Would be pretty awesome for my Insanity if that would come out. So let's wait and see. Because they have so much grain.
Because they have not dropped. They have not. Yeah, they've not delivered any.
Yeah,
grain
they want to
there
see the
yet.
drops, and there they go.
Oh,
Oh.
brilliant! Oh. It wasn't going to come out for
Yeah.
a third match in a row.
Well, I think it's pretty fair. I mean, they still
Yeah.
have 60,000 to deliver.
Yeah.
I don't think that New Holland has understood that they actually have that much grain. So, so yeah, it's still gonna be a surprise for them. What's gonna be coming out of the coming out of the pipes to the silos.
Here
And
we
now
go.
they will start unloading it. They are building it. They have 3 different vehicles on site. So they will definitely get the grain, the multiplier for them. There's no questions about it. We can see that New Holland is collecting a little bit. They have a little bit more to deliver as well, but this is costing a lot of time. I mean, 4 minutes, less than 5 anyways on the clock, and you still have to do something here.
I'm not quite sure what's happened with the strategy this game. As neither team went for to reserve a class combine, but also neither team seemed to have a class combine. So it looks like that was excluded from the options on the podiums as well.
Yeah, 2.1. I mean, my understanding they actually left it on 2.1, so they don't want to reveal the cards. If, for whatever reason, if New Holland wants to deliver more, from whatever reason, so they are fine with it. I mean, 2.1, they still get more. It's going to make the whole job harder for New Holland. And now we can see PB400.
Here we go.
He was actually playing yesterday on the bale stacking challenge as well. There was a bale stacking challenge on site where you can do your best time. And that was also interesting. We saw PB400 and then the Helm players competing from the top time yesterday. It was like 1 minute and 13 seconds. Then it was like a 1 minute and 12, 11 and 10.
Yeah.
And then next time I went there, it was 59.
Under a minute.
Yeah. And that was it JK? I can't remember. It was somebody from Helm anyway. So they just improved by 10 seconds suddenly. Anyways, let's go to this game back. So we can see My Insanity putting the bales in. New Holland hasn't done anything, but we can see that now New Holland, they want to reopen the grain game.
That is so painful.
Yeah, the multiplier goes for My Insanity and New Holland. They will try to fight back, but the 200-point difference and 3 minutes to go. Bale withering.
And a single bale withering or even two bales bale withering for New Holland to get.
But this is going to be way too complicated for New Holland. I mean, I might be wrong once again, but I just don't see it.
No, I'm right there with you. There's 200 points between these teams.
Yeah, that's a lot. So My Insanity, they did manage to use the multiplier exactly when needed.
There's 200 points between these two teams, and My Insanity has 2 more bales. I don't see how New Holland comes back from that. They need to deliver 10 more bales at this point in 2 minutes than My Insanity delivers.
Yeah, I mean,
there aren't even that many bales on the field. Well,
yeah, I mean,
I don't think they can press that many in this time.
Yeah, we spoke about this earlier. I mean, that My Insanity, they have been improving all the seasons. We know that they are very good mechanical players. So maybe the shorter time span just, works for their advantage here. Because they can maybe, play a little bit differently than before. But, okay, let's not call it yet, but still, it is getting very close. And New Holland, they still have the bales, 9 of them. And the 9 bales is like 200 points with the multiplier. So even if they deliver all of the bales right now, they'll just slightly go ahead. And if My Insanity...
Well, that's if My Insanity deliver no more bales.
Yeah, if they don't deliver any. So they could be just chilling and dancing on the belt, for example. But of course, both teams going to deliver it, and the multiplier is just not going to be enough to to close that gap, unfortunately. But I still want to see the last second and the minute pushes. Hopefully we'll have a like full chaos. Maybe they'll have like a combo coming up or something like that, but probably not.
Yeah, 415 to 229. And yeah, 14 bales to 9. My Insanity have 5 more bales than New Holland.
Yeah. This is when you can hear when something snaps, when you put all these bales on the belt, like on New Holland. Yeah.
I know we don't like calling it, but this is. I don't see how New Holland come back from this.
Yeah.
Without Bale-tastics or something to really bump their points up. Pure Bale points are not going to win this for them now.
Yeah.
And
yeah, and you can't really get a combo because, I mean, both teams are just operating it as much as they can. John will put the final bales inside of it, and they still have 2 remaining. They maybe have a time to put 1 more inside, but the scores, we can see New Holland, there's no way for them to come back, and it's going to be My Insanity actually going to the grand finals to face Helm.
That's awesome for them. That really is. First tournament of the season, and My Insanity are facing off against Helm.
Did they play on the finals last season?
They
once?
did.
Yeah,
they
once,
did make it to a final last season, yeah.
And this is definitely a great start for them. So they will just, go to the final. We can see the players, of course. Well, I mean, they know each other. They have been playing a lot, so they're just congratulating each other. So of course, I think New Holland can be happy for My Insanity as well.
That's that's just a really, really good start for them.
So that means that the 3rd and the 4th place, which is going to be tied, is going to be tied by Valtra and New Holland. And then we still have the grand final, or the final remaining, which is also best of 3 series, and it's going to be My Insanity versus Helm. And interesting to see. I mean, New Holland still managed to get one of the matches on this series, but not the second one. So, but I would definitely say that My Insanity deserved this. They played really well.
7 bales left on the ground. I mean, that wasn't enough to win it. That wouldn't have been enough to have taken it. But yeah, 7. But you don't want to be leaving 7 bales on the ground.
That is like 140 points, so maybe a bit more with the multiplier. 2.1, so that is 147.
Your quick maths is better than mine.
No, I don't know if it's quick. I don't even know if it's correct. So I'll just throw the numbers. But anyway, so we're gonna have a short break pretty soon, and we know the teams we're gonna be facing on the grand final. So make sure not to go anywhere. And of course, we'll be here with Alex on the final as well.
Yes. So yeah, we will see you in a moment. Until then, don't go anywhere. I might go for a of today's tournament here on.
Yeah.
I don't know if my mic was working. Welcome back, everybody. We're heading into the final of today's, or the first tournament of Farming Simulator League Season 5 here live at FarmCon. And we've had some pretty good matches so far today.
Yeah,
Quantum.
definitely entertaining series. I mean, the last one especially, 2-1. New Holland unfortunately needed to drop on the away from the grand finals, but a very close series. I mean, of course, Mines Energy won the last game with a very big margin, but the first two matches, especially the second one, that was a very tight one.
Tight.
Yeah.
It was good. It's good to see close matches like that with these new rule changes.
True. Well, anyways, we're going to be seeing replay, so let's see what happened on the last series before we actually jump into the final. But there we can see that magical jump which L. Rhodes made on the first game. It was like you can see like just a minute from the game and he makes that. So just like eat that.
And this is where Jan got a bale stuck backwards on there and was just having so much trouble in this first game, getting those last few bales in. I think you can see there actually, it's still stuck on the back of his forks right to the end, and just unable to get it off there at all.
Yeah, unfortunate. Mistakes can happen, but in the end, they still managed to win it. So this is the first game. But yeah, definitely struggling with it. Like, it's not it's not the best way to end the game. Like the last seconds are going, and you have to do everything you can, and then you're just fighting with a bale. I can see that happening. Okay, and this is not the accident we saw. There was a bigger accident on that bridge later, but definitely some issues with the bridges.
And then just catch it. It's just those rear indicator lights he caught that with. There, and that just made it slightly difficult to pick up those bales. And this is where he gets right. So again, it's that rear section of that baler that's just sticking out that gets clipped, and it held him on that bridge.
True.
That should have been a bigger win for New Holland if those bits hadn't happened.
Yeah, but they still recovered from it, so that's good. And then we go for the third game of the series. And I mean, the strategy on New Holland was a bit strange here. I think they wasted time on the mid game. The grain delivery was different as well.
Someone did point out that suddenly strangely missing bale there, thinking it was a. I think Fielden pointed out in the Twitch chat that what happened there was that a bug. No, we missed that New Holland picked up the bale withering, and as a result, the bale just.
Yeah, it just disappeared. So, unfortunate, but it can happen. That's the whole point of the bale withering.
Exactly.
But anyway, so we have seen the replays, and now it's going to be time until we're going to be heading towards the grand final. Should be a couple of minutes. So it's the first one for this season. And Helm versus My Insanity. That is interesting. I mean, looking how well My Insanity, I think they played really well on that series. And we remember that Helm actually made some mistakes earlier. So, I mean...
And with the amount of time, the ability to cause your opponents to make errors increases. And My Insanity did do a fairly disruptive game there. They were dropping their grain at the right times to really cause issues for New Holland. So interesting to see what they do now against Helm.
Yeah, well, let's see. Valtra being banned. So definitely a different kind of a setup of bans. Then we get in New Holland, so maybe the other one, the manager, is going to be banned as well. No telehandlers. And of course, I mean, Helm is known from their telehandler skills. We just need to find a new name for the toss once again.
Yeah, the Helm toss doesn't quite the same ring to it.
Okay. Helm hurdle.
Oh, the Helm hurl.
Yeah. We'll see. And that was the My Insanity players.
Yes.
Unless,
and the New Holland is being banned, which is intriguing.
Well, then the picks. The bottleneck is the one they're going to choose. We very rarely see that they are like having a different strategies. I mean, these captain picks all the time. they play the same against the other.
The teams seem to still really favour Bottleneck as their favourite team perk, which is why I'm glad of the rule that they have to pick something else for their second, subsequently, because otherwise it does get very samey, and it means that teams have to come up with new strategies for different setups.
Yeah, I mean, before the change was done last season, I don't think that we saw. I think after the change, we saw the first use of Big Hole. I mean, the Big Hole was just like non-existent completely, and now we can see the beautiful Optimus Prime.
I think there was some early uses, of Big Hole early in the season, but you get to that mid-season point where teams settle into their strategies, and that's the point at which Big Hole disappeared and everybody started going for Bottleneck. It'll be interesting to see how that changes over this season. How what teams settle into at that halfway point.
Yeah, and a lot of discussion about the pancakes on the chat once again.
Oh yes.
So there is a thing. There is a thing regarding the pancakes. I promised that I will make pancakes here. That was the plan. But we couldn't find an oven. There is no oven on the hotel, and there's no like a proper oven here at the venue as well, which we can use. So if you remember my cooking stream last year, I was supposed to do the similar pancakes, but there we go. Jen makes a mistake at the same time as well.
And he has claimed it. Thankfully, he wasn't in contention with anybody else. It looks like Martin for Helm has got the New Holland. So no, there is no second class available here. But the Fentai deal has come into play for Mind Sanity. So looking at that, I think that Mind Sanity may have the better combine setup here. They're not going to be, they might be able to repeat their first bale that they had earlier. It is getting close. There are just 7 seconds left to get that first bale in. I think it's going to be just sub 140, though, by the looks of things.
Yeah, definitely sub 140. It's like a 135-ish, maybe. Let's see. Depends how fast he can actually, will he toss? It could be lower. More than 130, I would say.
Yeah.
But maybe on the lower side of it.
It might be a 130.
Yeah. Oh,
maybe a 130.
Problems, actually. It's getting stuck.
Does he have a full bale? No, it's there.
It's still...
123.
Exactly the same for both. I mean, he had a chance to get like 10 more points, but the bale was just like on the way.
Taking forever to come out.
Yeah.
And first drop, and it's bridges raised or speed limit.
Yeah.
Again, speed limit would probably be the better one for them to go for.
Yeah.
But I don't think it's worth either team running out there to go and do that.
Yeah. I mean, we saw the speed limit on the first game.
Helm have grabbed it.
Yeah, I think both teams there will grab it. The same happened on the first semi-final as well, where Helm took it as well. So anyways, we have the speed limit. It's for the both sides, so just gonna make a very small difference here.
Yeah.
And there we have it. So Mind Sanity will go and pick that up as well. But it's a very even situation. I mean,
but that's a tough one for Mind Sanity, because if they don't go and pick up the speed limit, that gives Helm an advantage. And if they do go and pick up speed limit, they've got to stop somebody harvesting, run well out of their way, and go and pick it up. So either way, it's disruptive to their play.
True. Well, there we go. Both teams collecting the grain, about the same. Okay, Helm slightly leading on that one. No bales so far. And this is the moment when I feel my table shaking when I hear the engine sounds on the PA speakers on the venue. But it's a lovely situation here. Anyways, we can see Jan just going to be starting to move the trailer towards the silo. So he thinks that he has enough for the moment. It's probably full. Well, it's not actually full. We can see that it's not full.
I think this is almost a base covering thing. To be able to go, right, we are at the 5-minute point. We are going to, if it then drops grain multiplier, we have a tractor down there. But the main thing is that they know their combine's empty. They don't want to be sitting around doing nothing. And they want to start bailing, and Helm are doing the same thing. Both these teams not wasting a second, making sure something is always being done.
Yeah, you have to utilize all the time you have. JK is going to start pressing the bales, as we can see. One bale is already there, so they are definitely well on their way with the producing the bales. And these guys are just, as we can see, they're just like very focused on what's going on. 6 minutes to go, 30 seconds for the next drop, by the way. So then we'll see what's coming up. And meanwhile, Martin's just filling up the trailer to get some more grain that they can actually start delivering towards the silo. And I guess it's the same as what we had on the last season as well, that you have to make the decision, will you start delivering before the drops come in or after? Now the time might be, saying that, later is anyways happening. But we saw on the last series that there was actually people all also delivering before 3.5 minute mark, and now we just need to see the drops. Is there anything like that is actually causing
crazy tool and speed up? Now is the time where it's really useful for teams to have crazy tool.
Yeah, but no silo closed, so
no
the grain game is pretty fair then. And now we can see Helm actually starting to unload it as we speak, and they have the multiplier as their advantage. We can see PB coming in as well. So he wants to even the multiplier, of course, and having a similar equipment, about the same amount of grain, he should be able to get it back to 2.0.
I would say Josmodi has just said in the chat that he started on a script, a scripting mod that he and I have been chatting about here at FarmCon, which makes me very, very excited. But it's also why I love FarmCon, because where else could you meet and sit down and talk with fellow modders and creators and things, and brainstorm ideas like that? It's fantastic.
Yeah, definitely nice to see people and spend some time and kind of like, plan things and whatever you want to do. Definitely always great to meet some people from the community.
That right-hand bale very nearly ended up in the water. And yeah, there it goes.
Yeah. But they will put it straight on the belt.
Yeah.
So they have the advantage now, 2.4. And I don't see my insanity. They are currently actually unloading. So they will do something about the multiplier.
Are these bales going to score at an advantage? 1.9. No, they're not. They're not going to make it.
Yeah, it's going to be 2.0.
That is still a fantastic response.
Yeah, and that's where they're going to leave the multiplier as well. I don't think that there's going to be any more grain delivered anymore, because it just like less than 4 minutes doesn't make much of a sense. So now they really need to focus on bales. We can see PB delivering some. They have 10 bales on Mine Sanity's side, Helm on the other side. I don't see the count for this moment, but I think it's pretty similar. Yeah, it's 8 as they deliver 2. So about exactly the same amount of bales. So I think the strategies are pretty similar for the teams currently. And we have a replay.
Okay. Yeah, they're very nearly in the drink with that.
Yeah, and in the first matches, on the semi-final, Helm also had a similar struggles on the bridge by Martin as well. But he always managed to do it still. So he's just like drives very risky all the way through the safer route.
Now, will the teams go for it? Bottom boost is quite a big one actually, and I think they might. One of the team might go for it.
Yeah, I mean that is very helpful.
I'd be surprised if Helm. In fact, I think Helm are heading for it at the moment.
Yeah, I mean, we have seen that teams struggle to get all the bales in, especially on the second floor.
Yeah.
So bottom boost definitely will help. Maybe I don't know. Maybe the super drop could come like a little bit later. I would love to see bottom boost coming like actually, 2 minutes before or something like that.
Neither team are going for it.
Yeah,
There's not enough time left.
It's too far. They don't want to lose the time.
No.
Helm probably thinks that, yeah, we already are leading. We don't need that. We have this under the books. And Mine Sanity probably thinks that, yeah, we don't have the time. If we want to beat and close the gap, then we just have to, do our thing instead of like, go for the random things that are spawning.
I mean, that's the thing. Five extra bales have to be delivered by Mine Sanity.
Look at that. He just likes to drive that with the front wheels only. I mean, he has done it so many times, and he's just like turning it at the same time as well. So he's just handling it very well. And now we can see Mine Sanity finally starting to get some bales on the belt as well. And let's see how it works. I mean, PB has been doing a great job on the belt, so I think they have a chance of closing this gap.
They are closing that gap at the moment, Mine Sanity, but
Yeah, but now we have Helm
Dave.
also unloading, so it grows again,
And it's back up
unfortunately.
to, yeah.
Yeah. So, but yeah, it's let's see, they will get 400 points in a matter of seconds, so it's about 80 points, I would say, the gap after these bales. And then we'll just have to wait and see. It's actually 100 already. So, and Mindset, they still have the bales, but 1 minute remaining. Once again, 11 bales in 1 minute seems like a mission impossible a little bit. So they just need to improve getting the bales inside. But let's wait and see. I mean, I'm not gonna call it because they still have a chance. But if they do this like a 1 bale at a time, because the bales are quite like split across there, not really like organized there, and that's going to be costing a lot of time, and also means that they cannot get as many bales on the second floor as they would like to.
That's the thing. Mind Sanity have bales around there. Helm are having to bring them in. Oh, yeah, and once again has a bale stuck on his forks.
Yeah, first floor deliveries are coming up from the both sides. There's still a couple bales on the belt for Helm, so they will
It's only
increase
10
the
points
lead.
in
And
it,
Hannes is
though.
in the river, and this is devastating to see. I mean, no point coming back anymore. You don't have the time, so it's gonna chill on the water.
And there,
there
it
we had it.
goes. It's gone to Helm. But that looked, at one point near the end of that looked very close.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know what happened to Hannes on that water. Was that like intentional? Did he just needed to cool down a little bit? Maybe the team captain was like, hey, you just gotta cool down. Okay, I go to the water. But yeah, 50 points still in the end. So a couple more bales, 3 more bales on the second floor. That would have changed the whole situation, but it didn't happen. So Helm will take the first one, and they are just 1 win away from winning the first tournament of the season.
And Mind Sanity's still showing strong gameplay there. That's not a case of them being stomped all over. They were still playing really strongly there, and I think there was just a couple incidents throughout it that just meant that they fell that little bit behind. Maybe a little bit quicker on getting out there with the bale setup and everything, and they'd be good.
Yeah. Well, let's see. Hopefully they will improve. I mean, they usually teams, they learn from their mistakes, and they follow the strategies which the others are playing. But knowing Helm, do you think that they will play the second game with the same strategy? I don't think so.
No. I think they have many strategies up their sleeves, and I think they will keep people guessing this season as long as they can.
Yeah, true.
Before they settle in on whatever strategies it is that they find is most adaptable to their gameplay.
Yeah. So will it be big haul, or what do you think?
I think they're going to go for unstoppable.
Unstoppable. Okay.
They've gone unstoppable for their second round previously. I think they prefer it over big haul.
Okay, well, we'll just have to wait and see. But I love to see the fast unloading from
that
the big haul. That's like a second, and
it was just
the multiplier
bang,
is there.
and it's all over.
Well, anyway, so the first game went to Helm. Somebody might have expected it as well, but the Mind Sanity is definitely fighting very well. I think we're seeing the best Mind Sanity so far, what we have ever seen. At least what I have ever seen on the Farming Simulator League. Maybe Alex being the old dog of Farming Simulator League. So maybe you have seen it them being stronger on the past, but they are definitely, I think they are doing their A game currently.
Yeah, and they are and they are the team to beat. They always have been the team to beat. So I think if Mind Sanity can have a good strong showing against them today, then that is gonna bolster Mind Sanity going into the season, whatever happens in this final.
I always like to think about the individuals on the team. Sometimes on the middle phase, the roles, they are not so visible, maybe what everybody is doing. Somebody goes to the silo and so on. But PB, when he's like operating the belt, I think he has been doing a great job. And I think he's really like standing out. I think he's like the second best stacker currently on Farming Simulator League, I would say.
Yeah.
He's definitely doing a great job.
He's getting bales onto that belt quickly and accurately, and it's allowing them to score points well.
Yeah. Anyways, the second game is starting. As we can see, the ban's probably going to follow the same pattern, more or less. We have New Holland at least being banned, and then we'll see what's going to be happening at the peak phases. And just as a reminder, Helm, they already won the first match. So if they win this one, they will claim victory from the tournament as well. But if it's going to be My Insanity, then we'll go for the third game of the series. It is best of 3. And we do have a 15,000 euro prize pool.
Oh.
I think the winner gets about 5,000 of it, if I remember correctly. They're going to be also collecting some Noble chests, of course, and Nitrado credits as well. So our lovely
and points, of course, towards the overall
yes,
season.
yeah, it's 90 points for the winner. And then the second place was it 70 or 50? You can check it from the rule books.
Yes,
I have them here. So yeah, it is 70 points for the second, and third and fourth will get 50, and then the teams, the fifth and eighth place teams, will get 30. Who played yesterday.
Yes.
But anyway, so that is the circuit point system. Meanwhile, the captain picks were done already, and now we go for the player picks. With the music.
And some slightly different choices here this time, I think. Helm going for an all-green fleet. In fact, both teams going for an all-green fleet with the same all-green fleet in both cases.
Yeah, okay, so there we go. The second game. And let's see. The first bale, I mean, of course, I'm interested about that. The previous game, I mean, we saw 123 from both, so neither of the team got like the optimal first bale. So let's see if we see more than 140.
Neither team's going for that second Lexion.
Mm.
Oh no, Helm have grabbed it, so that is going to be definitely to their advantage.
Mm. So we can see the first bale, My Insanity, ideal. We have Jan behind. We can see on the Helm side, they're actually pretty close to the barn as well. Oh, there we can see this nice X-ray as well. So we can see JK having a slight advantage here, and he's going to be disengaging behind it. And this is going to be, by the way, a very good first bale. Look at the clock. It's still like a 9:10.
Oh, wow.
So this should be definitely more than 140. And if the toss goes well in, and it does, it's 149. They will show who's the man. And we can see the audience just
and
applauding
he knew.
here.
You saw it there. He knew.
Yeah, yeah, that was the right time to get out of the baler. Now we can see John getting 133, so the gap is 16 points after the first bale.
Still within a bale.
Yeah.
Which is where they want to keep that.
Within one bale, yeah. But firmly, Helm will take the lead with the first bale. And now, of course, we have the drops. And by the way, we do have the big hauls, because we were talking about something else at the same time. Or I was just like occupying the radio waves.
I think Helm will go for speed limit. I don't think it's worth either of them running out to do it.
Mm.
It is a bit disruptive for Helm to go and grab it, especially if Helm are close to it. And yep, there they go. However, PB has positioned himself very well to quickly go out there, grab it, and come back. In fact, he gave himself less walking distance to go and get that than the Helm player did. So that's a really good play there for My Insanity. That saved them time rather than added time to it.
Yeah, I really hope that this is not going to be the last game of the series, because, I mean, now when the games are shorter, I feel that I'm just getting started with the casting.
Yeah.
So just, and if this is the last game, like, come
on. We're already at the 7.5 minute mark.
Yeah.
We would have seen so much at this point in previous games.
Okay, well, let's just follow it up. Jan collecting something. We have, 38,000 for Helm, and My Insanity with 32,000. So that is definitely still growing, as we can see. You can take 60 on the big haul. So let's see what kind of deliveries we will have.
And both teams just basically want to load that up as much as they can.
Yeah, they're just collecting it. No bales currently being produced. That will happen later. They still have the time, about 1.5 minutes to the next drop. The drops are really coming fast. It's not like we are waiting for the drops. They are just coming in.
It's roughly sort of every
Yeah,
3
yeah.
minutes we're getting a drop
Yeah,
now.
it's just like my Christmas. Like the presents are just coming. You don't have to wait for them. They're just like dropping in. At least that's what I hope. Gosh.
JK not bailing that first little bit for some reason.
Well, why not? Maybe they're gonna be.
Maybe it's so that he can get as close as possible back to the barn before he has to worry about bales falling off the back. Certainly, it reduces the distance that bales have to be picked up.
And the table is vibrating again. But yeah, I think that they want to have some bales ready. That if they somehow manage to get a advantage on the multiplier, that they actually have bales ready for it. Of course, it depends from the next drop. You know, if they can deliver something before the drop, I mean grain, but I don't think it's going to happen when you look at the clock.
Yep.
And then if there would be like a silo closed, for example, then they could keep the multiplier for a while or something like that. You never know. So let's wait and see. But I think that they want to be ready for whatever is coming, and that's why they have the bales.
And it looks like Helm have finished filling their trailer.
Ooh, grain multiplier.
Oh, with the big...
I see what you did there. This is interesting.
And so this, again, is all going to be over in about 10 seconds.
Yeah, I mean, both of them should go for it. And then they should try to, of course, deliver.
Right. Yeah.
But this could be just like evening the whole situation out.
The trouble with Grain Multiplier and Big Haul is that it hits the 3.0 multiplier very, very quickly. Of course, if you deliver grain after that hits, you end up wasting grain. So he's got to watch this like a hawk to prevent that kind of problem.
So is that like watching like a hawk?
That is watching like a hawk.
Yeah.
And Mind Sanity are now taking their time getting there. They want to do this, A, before their grain multiplier runs out, but B...
They have 10 bales. Mind Sanity. So they are building something, and maybe because like they go for a later delivery, they're actually stalling Helm a little bit because they have to be ready and waiting what's going to happen.
Helm are now putting bales on their very slow belt.
Yeah. But it's still a belt, and it's still moving.
But they also know that Helm have... that Beatmaster is having to sit there waiting for this delivery. And this is the thing.
Both at the same time. And there we go. The battle of the grain.
And it's a 2.1 to my insanity.
Yeah, it is. Amazing.
Wow. Well, that's the thing
great.
That is the other thing about having the grain multiplier along with Big Haul. Because it's a double multiplier with the Big Haul, because the Big Haul gives you a 2 times multiplier on grain. And then you've got the grain multiplier on top, which is, it's 1.5 for Helm and 1.6 for My Insanity. It ends up multiplying it even further. And so it's just given that little bit of an edge to push it over to the next level.
And the bales which Helm actually had on the belt, I think they got 1 bale with 20 points, and then they got 2 bales with 19 points. So they didn't get any of the multiplier, just 1 normal and 2 actually with 1.9. And now more bales are being put on the belt. 9 bales for Helm, and mine said it's 17 bales for them.
And the bottom boost is sitting in the middle of the ideal combine.
I mean, my Insanity could definitely use the bottom boost, but they don't have the bales. I think they are doing very well here. I mean, we don't see that they are like stacking, you know, next to the belt as much as they could.
Yeah.
So this is looking like very good, except for that small mistake that is flying away. But how they are organizing the bales currently, I love this. How they, you know, I could live there. It's that clean.
They have a good way of presenting their bales to make it easy for PB to fill that conveyor.
Well, there we have it. That looks a little bit messy now, to be honest. So the stacker has to do a good job by getting all of those in. The time is running, 2 minutes to go. The difference is about 65, whatever, 60, 70 points anyways. And Martin, once again, he has been pretty hard on that bridge, or the safer route.
But you can see here Helm do not have as many bales sitting back at their barn.
Yeah, true.
They're relying on all of these bales being bought in by their team.
1.5 minutes.
Although immediately I say that,
They
Helm
have
suddenly have a pile of bales down at their barn.
yeah, a lot of them. So let's see. Mines and they really have to work because just more than a minute and there's 15 bales. So I don't think that the bale count, the difference 4 bales, is actually mattering that much. It's the efficiency once again, because I don't think that they get all the bales to the belt for sure. So you have to put something on the first floor, and then it comes down to how fast and how well you can actually get. So how many do you actually get from those to the belt?
Part of the reason why often Helm are behind on the number of bales they've got is because they've scored points with their bales. So that the bales aren't there because they've been scored.
Well, there we have it.
My Sanity's got into the lead.
Yeah.
And now Helm's got into the lead.
Yeah, I mean, Helm, they have. Okay, now
this is close.
Yeah, this is getting very close now. Those 2 bales, if one is going to
And
drop,
it's 1 point to my Insanity
this
with
is so
25
close.
seconds on the clock.
Yeah, and that 1 point is the advantage for Mines because they have the 2.1 multiplier, so it's coming
and
down to
and
the
my
last
Insanity
bale.
are pulling away with 15 seconds to
that's
go.
a lot of bales. Can Helm actually do it? They still have a lot of bales. 4
It's
bales
10
on the
seconds
belt. They're going to put
left.
something on the first floor as well.
There's less than
and we
20
can see
points
more is
between it.
coming in.
No,
it's going to be 50
50
points between. It's going to be getting
It's
so funny.
fucking
It is
21
tied! It is tied! What is
Who's
this
it going to?
madness?
Helm have
Now
done
we
it!
need the rule book for sure. Did they actually still
Helm
win it
took
with the
it.
tide? Yeah, they took it. At least it looks like it.
Helm have taken it.
Oh, that is close. Look how happy they are. JK just like stretching his arms like yeah, it is done. And look at the My Insanity guys. They are
Look
just
at
laughing
that.
as well.
What
like this
a
is,
match.
Yeah, I mean, and if somebody
What
will
a
come and tell me
game.
that the 15-minute rule was changed to 10, that's a
That's
bad
a
thing.
thing.
I completely disagree. This is amazing
Completely.
currently.
What a game.
Yeah, that was a match.
I need to check my rulebook onto what it goes down to.
Yeah, because
But it's I
You'll
think
read
it's
the
either
book.
to bales delivered or grain, and I can't remember which way round it is.
Oh, let's see. It is somewhere in here.
I think it's right at the top. Unless that's no, that's not the rules. That's the rule book. It's in the other document.
Ah, it's on the vehicle stats.
It's in the vehicle stats.
Yeah, we are browsing here.
We're
Just
definitely
making sure.
Here we are.
So, is it actually here?
Yeah, it goes score, then bales total.
Yeah. Okay, bales and bales total.
Yeah.
And first bale
And
comes
then
after
first
that.
bale,
First
then
bale
grain,
they
then
won
first
at least.
So yeah.
It was
What
a
a
close one, definitely.
game.
Yeah, amazing game to be honest. Really enjoyable. I mean, 30 seconds before, Helm was like firmly in the lead. And then we have My Insanity coming, actually taking the lead. And then Helm coming back. And there's the check, Helm.
4,250 euros.
Yeah.
Helm for their win.
Yeah, it's the total prize for the winner is 5,250. So they will get that much cash.
Yeah.
And they will get 1 Noble chair, Hero TX chair. I think that's the texture version, not the later version. That's a really nice chair. I have that on my studio as well. And then they will get a Case King vouchers worth of 450 euros. And then they will get a 100 worth of a Nitrado voucher. So that's the total of 5,250. So 1,000 is our product prices, and then we have 4,250 in actual hard cash.
Look at that.
Yeah. And as we are in Germany, you actually need the cash.
Yeah. But wow, look at that. Helm showing that they are still the team to beat.
Yeah.
But coming very close.
Ooh.
Fantastic. Well done, Helm.
Yeah, it's very well done. I mean, they have definitely deserved. I mean, Helm is of course, their new team, and Helm is the main sponsor of FSL as well.
First tell you, winning like that is more exhilarating than beating teams by a massive amount.
Yeah,
because you saw the look on their faces when they came in, and nobody knew in that instant who had won.
They are happy, definitely,
They are
and they
very
should
happy.
be. But I love how mindset it is also, like, you know, getting to the
Yeah.
finals. I mean, they did so close series with Helm.
Oh yeah.
Of course, they lost it 2-0, but the last game, like, what is that? It's amazing. So I'm just so eager to see what actually this season has to offer. This is just the first tournament, and now the teams will go practicing, you know, evolving to the current rules and the everything.
What an exciting start to the season.
Yeah.
I couldn't have had. I don't think we could have had a better start.
Yeah. This is the
than
perfect
that.
start. I mean,
absolutely fantastic.
yeah, excellent. There we go. They can celebrate the check. And yeah, it's
Nice.
really good. I really enjoy seeing how this actually works out in the end. And of course, the next tournament, we'll see what's going to happen. We have a bit of a time. It's after summer.
Yep.
And yeah, and then we'll see how it's going to figure out. If you haven't seen the calendar, I don't know how much they actually have published, but I think it's definitely, yeah. So the next event is going to be on Gamescom at the end of August. So we do have about 1.5, almost 2 months of a break, and then we have a tournament every month after it. Okay. Now we know that it's over. I did the best I could.
Like, oh yeah, they're talking German. They're talking even more German. Now he's giving like hand signals while talking German. I think 10-1.
No, I could have made it earlier train, but doesn't matter.
Get some pizza first.
Yeah, I need to eat something because it's not fair. We are casting and the people come eat here and we just smell it like. That is not fair. Okay. Yeah.
But like that's the right number.
Yeah, I'll go.